Hey guys, Dane from The Skin Deep here. Listen, if you'd like to see more of the and videos, we would like to produce more of them. Please help us out by clicking on this little Patreon button right here and enjoy the show.
How do you think the place where I grew up influenced my life?
So one thing I learned from being in prison is that we all come from like the same neighborhoods.
Yeah.
If it's not the same neighborhood, they all have the same stuff in them, the same socioeconomic issues. It gives you a certain level of like thickness to your skin.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you go up in some of the neighborhoods that we've grown up in, you look at that like that thick layer of skin as a badge of honor. Mm-hmm. And in many ways, the thicker the skin is, the more proud that you are. Mm-hmm. And it's not a coincidence that, you know, when we come out of an experience like incarceration, that's the swagger that we're actually carrying throughout that whole experience. Is like, I was built and bred for this shit. As hard as it is for me to go through this, and as much as I hate it, every minute of it, every second of it, I want to go home, I want to get out of here. But in the end, you say to yourself, you know, like, this is who I am, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I echo that, man. I think that I know that, like, I know the power of personal choice. Like, we make the decisions. You know, I decided to go this way, I decided to go that way. But I also know that sometimes the options that we have to choose from sometimes may be already predetermined.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, you did the best you could with what you had, but then also going through incarceration and having that transformative experience, whether through education or maybe it was just like, you know what, I'm just tired of sitting in a cell. I was not born to be in a cell, you know, and having people that love you, and you come out and you're like, you know what, I am more than just this, you know, and relying on that and say, hey, this is who I am, and this is what I'm gonna lend my voice to, you know?
Yeah. And I think that also too is something that well, at least it helped me get through my incarceration, where I knew that the choices that I had were two evils. And as hard as it was for me to wrap my mind around that, I nevertheless had to do that, right? And like my childhood and my young adulthood experiences gave me the strength to actually do that and to say, I know that this is the lesser of two evils that I'm doing or that I'm choosing, but nevertheless is what I have to do, right? So,
Did you ever doubt your ability to change?
You know what's crazy? You know, I tell people all the time, right? Like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But it's different when you lead a horse to water and it says, what water? And for me, for so long in my life, I didn't see the ocean in front of me. Like, I did not literally see that something was wrong with the way that I was behaving, the way that I was acting, the way that I was thinking. The minute that it actually happened for me was when someone asked me, do I want to continue to be a part of the problem or do I want to be a part of the solution? Nice. And it was a moment for me that I will always remember in my life, because it was that moment right then and there that I saw the water. I didn't want to continue to be a part of the problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards here. When I look in the mirror, what do you think is the first thing I criticize?
The first thing I think you criticize is probably your face. Like, is my face okay? Like, do I need to shave? It's like, do I have something on my nose? Is my hair okay? Like, do I have any crust on my ear or something crazy? I think that's probably the first thing that you criticize. And I say that because I know who you are, right? Like,
Yeah, that's actually spot on. I'm particular about my appearance only for a number of different reasons, but yeah, that's really good.
What do you admire most about me?
Oh man, there's a lot of things I admire about you, bro. I like how you command power in the room. I really admire that. When we think power, and again, not to make a reference to how short you are again, but like, it's usually like the tallest, biggest, most loudest guy or whatever, like, oh, that guy is like powerful, whatever, you know? But I've seen you exude that walking into a room without like no, unintentionally. And when I think about power, I'm thinking about like whether people are deferring to you, seeking your opinion on something. People follow you because they want to and not because they feel that you want them to or because they feel like they have to, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's powerful. I think that it's intrinsic. It's not something that you can like read in a book. You know, there's no formula to that. And I admire that. If you had to choose one moment that defined your life thus far, what would it be? And it says we both answer that one.
If I had to choose one moment, it would be December 31st, 2014.
What happened that day?
When I was on the phone with the governor's office and they were telling me that I was going to get a pardon.
Yeah.
The reason I say that moment defines my life is because I've always benefited from exceptional opportunities. And I understand that moment was an exceptional opportunity, and that many people would tell the narrative that it was given to me because I am exceptional. But I also understand that the moment that I accept that narrative, it makes it very difficult for me to advocate for other people, you know, because I also understand that there are other people just like me who deserve a very similar outcome, and that they, in their own right, can be beneficiaries of exceptional opportunities, and that we should be giving it to them. So, yeah, that's a moment for me.
I remember taking my first college class ever at Marlboro Correctional Facility. Siena College used to come in and teach for free. At first I didn't get it. I'm like, why do I want to teach like us for free? And of course now in hindsight, that's just years of being programmed that you're worthless, that you can't even believe that you even deserve an education, you know? And I remember thinking how small my world is and how I never really left my block. I never really went on vacation. I never went to Vegas or like didn't know. There was a lot of things about the world I didn't know. And I remember sitting in class feeling dumb, but also being motivated because now I was curious about, I wonder what else I don't know. You know, I used to ask myself, Johnny, what makes you think it's okay to run around the streets of New York with a gun and handle your problems with criminal solutions, you know? And why is it that Joe Smo, when he runs out of milk, he goes and gets food stamps? You go and grab a gun, you know? You know, what do you value? What are your principles? And more importantly, what principles govern your behavior? And if you say that you value family, then why doesn't your behavior reflect that? And I was asking myself all of these questions. And being in these college classes and talking to the professor, he kind of outlined it for me. He said, Johnny, I like the fact that you always take responsibility for your actions. You know, but what I think that you're missing is that the options that you had to choose from might already been predetermined, you know? And then he kind of explained that process to me, and that helped me gain a deeper understanding. Because up until that point, I really thought that I was just a bad person. You know, you had good and bad people, and I'm just a bad person, you know? And when I took the environmental factors into account, I was like, I'm not a bad person. I made some real bad decisions. And there's a difference there. It's not intrinsic. I wasn't born a criminal. That was so empowering for me because I was able to shed that skin. And a lot of changes happened. You know, I pulled my pants up, for one. You know, I cut my hair. I started using my name. I said, hey, can you please call me Johnny? My name is Johnny Perez. You know, and people say, oh, don't use your government in jail. Somebody can, whatever. My name is Johnny, and I appreciate that. You know, and then other smaller changes in the sense that I started to look at prison like a university. I said, I'm not locked up anymore. This is like the breeding ground. This is where I can learn. You know, this is my college, my university, you know, and everyone in here has a story that I can learn from. What do you think I forgot or failed to notice about myself?
I think that you may fail to notice how important your role is in the movement. You know, this thing about like how we punish people in this country is insidious, and it's sickening. And it is really always refreshing to know that there are people who make that conscious decision to be vulnerable all the time, unapologetically, not unremorsefully, but unapologetically. I think sometimes that's something that you may fail to notice, like how important that is in a movement, because there are people who do the work that we do, but are very conscious in what they expose about their experience. And then there are people who come home out of prison and like don't talk about it at all.
Yeah, I got friends like that
To
now.
coworkers, to family, to spouses, to children, they just do not talk about it because it's still something so wrong. And I think that may be something that you fail to notice, just like how conscious vulnerability is something that is so needed in this movement.
Something for me to think about.
What do you hope for me in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I hope that we can close Rikers, definitely.
For sure.
You know, I think that, you know, that's, you know, a very ambitious but realistic goal that, you know, that you're involved in, and you have the support of not only myself, but like the community, you know, within those 5 years. I also, you know, that you excel at all the things that you're kind of setting out to do, you know. But more importantly, not necessarily as far as the advocacy piece, but more like on a personal level, you know. And I'm speaking specifically about the relationship between you and your father. If for anything else, to deepen your understanding of yourself and who you are as an individual, which, you know, that is constantly also, you know, evolving, you know.
For me, for you, I wish that what I hope for you in 5 years is that your relationship with your daughter's stronger.
Yeah.
You know, she'll be 20.
Yeah.
And and that you're able to be there to walk her down the aisle whenever her day is, and that you don't have to live with this cloud of like immigration over your head anymore, whatever that relief looks like.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm really hoping you enjoyed that. Listen, if you'd like to see more from the Skin Deep, support us at our Patreon here. If you want to keep watching, we got a link right there.